All right. Hello, everyone. Dualistic here again with step two of the design process. And hopefully, you guys enjoy step one. It wasn't that hard. Everyone brainstorms, everyone thinks of interesting ideas. And so, capturing them, organizing them in a way, and theming them after like why you chose that specific inspiration is definitely going to help you for this step that we're going to come here. And so step two is what I'm calling, I call it creating visual cues. Some people call it pre-designing. Actually, I don't even know if some people call it, I'm just making shit up right now. But it's basically the step where I think is often misrepresented by designers. And it's a step that a lot of clients just don't know that designers do this. And so you ever see a designer that doesn't show this or doesn't do this, just like immediately um, ask for the check, cancel, get a refund, find another designers. Um, I'm actually just kidding about that. Because I'll let you. I'll give you an insight on why. But so this step is equivalent to the. Have you ever been to grade school and you had like a second grade math teacher or fifth or whatever math teacher, and they give you a problem. It's like maybe something stupid like five. I mean, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and then you're like, okay, 2 plus 2 is 4. That's the answer. Let me write down 4, and then you give it to the teacher. The teacher just marks it wrong because what do they always talk about at school? It's like showing your work, like showing that that 2 plus 2 is 4. Now back then, like how I showed it, the only way to show it was like basically like draw tally marks, like draw 2 sticks, draw another 2 sticks, and I don't know, somehow you just like proved that it was 4. It was the dumbest thing now that I've thought about it, but anything to kind of like get that grade. But I digress on that analogy, but this is basically the same step where now we have our brainstorm, and surely we can just go from here to just like basically starting designing. But I think it's important to start realizing some of these visual cues together so that you kind of have like a roadmap of ideas that can help form the design better. So one of the like immediate steps I like to do is now that you have everything all together and themed out, organized in terms of your brainstorm, I basically come in and filter it out even more. So you can see here, like I X'd out certain ideas that I probably won't do. So I'm not feeling this like 90s type of feeling. I still like the mech. I still like this uh, picture of the sunset. I still like this type of atmosphere. I still like the idea of like showing a workspace, and I really like this angle. So I think what I might do is actually commission an artist to kind of do something similar to this, which might be cool. We'll see. And then you see, like I'm playing with colors. I'm choosing what looks good. You'll see here that I even like try to draw over it. What could work? That leads me to the one subject is like tooling. Obviously, you can see I'm actually using my iPad, and I brought in my references into Procreate, and I'm just using my pencil to kind of just mark over and draw things where I can like find these like connections and that will help me design. So, here I'm just like highlighting certain stuff, and then we get to this step where I am purposely kind of like drawing very loose layouts of what might look cool or what I can probably do. Because the hard part is that a lot of references I have is of how to pick it, more organic shapes. They're of anime characters, they're like of people, and so they're not confined to what my work is. My work is just squares and rectangles, like very rigid, very precise shapes. And so how do I like mix the two to have the same feeling? Is definitely going to be the hardest part to this. But I can at least leverage some ideas of some of this brainstorming that I did to create some type of feeling, and obviously using the colors will match the aesthetic. And maybe I could leverage like imagery as like a background or texture to kind of fill in the gaps. Obviously, we want most of the attention on my work that I'm doing. But on the other hand, like a lot of my work is very verbal. It's something that can't be expressed as a picture, and so it's better expressed as some type of words. So I think I have that as a leverage that I could use as a leverage as I'm designing my website. Yeah, I do want to stress, like, the less precise tools you have, the better your sketches will be. Like, you don't have to learn how to draw to like make boxes, but the coolest thing about making sketches like this is because you could interpret this as like anything. This is generally the designer's way of saying that this is going to be a photo. Scribbles is usually typography. Blank lines could be like body text or buttons and stuff like that. But like, I could look at this again and think that this might be something different. This could be a card or something. This could just actually be a scribbled line, or this could be like a border. This could be an image. So I think it's really cool that you can create simple sketches and they could turn out to be different things as long as you look at it differently. So I'll kind of go over some of the ideas I'm trying to like extract for each of these, so you can kind of see how am I connecting this, or how I'm using references to create these little visual cues. So this top part is like basically like, here's your logo, here's your navigation. That's like just standard. Then here I'm like trying to draw like a figure as best as I can. But the idea I wanted to get here, like, there is some type of imagery or something here. Like, this could be a square, or maybe a phone mock-up of something, of a mobile app that I've done. But the idea here is mainly just, hey, there's just like overlaying text here. And then you can kind of see I took, obviously I have a lot of references of like overlaid text going around here. So, and then, just standard, just draw boxes. Like, okay, this could just be either information, it could be videos, it could be my works, whatever, blah blah blah. You can see this example, and it really matches this example, right? So I'm seeing how this could work as a general layout. Like, to me, this looks like, okay, here's a photo. This could be the title of my portfolio work or case study or blog post or whatnot, and this could be description and whatever you want to think about. You'll see this. This reminds you of this manga book I have. I kind of like how they did the paneling there, so I just kind of stole it. And the idea is just to steal and reiterate, like just see what kind of works. So I really like this layout. You know, it's not just like a boring 50-50 split. I like how minimal this statement is here, and then, you know, you can put whatever graphics you want. So I have my graphic here, and you can kind of see this took reference to one of the ideas I had of having like some type of reference sheet. And so this could be like different components of a website that I've done and explaining each one in more detail. Let's see, any other cool things around here? You know, this little section is ideally mocking this thing over here. Like a side text. Maybe this thing is an actual like slider left and right. Could be like a booklet. Some ideas of laying out headers, text. You know, this could be a potential case study template page I might use. So this part is heavily influenced by this. See, I'm like kind of stealing this little 3-tier navigation. I thought that was kind of nifty and cool. Maybe that could work. This be my logo. Some cool big text that I'm a designer, whatnot. Commission artwork that matches with this whole feel, and then maybe my name. I don't know, whatever. So one of the cool things about doing this step 2 is not only drawing things that might look good or might work, but it's also drawing things that probably won't work. And I think that's a really good sign to, it's like a definitive nail in the coffin. Like, okay, this idea is kind of ass and like dumb. So I try to do this card thing. It's not working how I want it to be, and I think it's obviously because it, you know, again, I don't have an organic type of portfolio, and a lot of my stuff is just boxes and squares. However, I do graphic arts, and so I could use this as a template or a primer for showcasing off my visual arts that I do. So this, now that I look at it that way, that might be an interesting way. And then it came around to this little inspiration here, and I kind of like how it's like very, you know, a simple dashboard. And I wonder if I can mimic that as a portfolio, where it's just like a 1-page dashboard that has, you know, 4 or 5 modules, and then you, depending on who visit the site, they're gonna click on the one that most interested, whatever they're trying to find. So if they're trying to find something about me, they would click on the About module. If they just want to see my work, they would see the work. If they just want to see other things I've done, like maybe there's my YouTube channel or whatever, you know, they can click that. So I'm really playing around with this idea. I think that's really cool. Let's see. So you can see I'm playing with colors. I think I've nailed the black and white I'm going to be using. And so I'm just like testing out different colors to use as an accents. I think I'm going to lean towards this red again because I'm really liking this general feel. Excuse me. General feel of this. So I might probably just take a lot of reference from that. And some other ideas of layouts. And again, the less precise you make things, the more this layout becomes multiple things. So, this could be a blog post, or this could be the header, or this could be something else. So, yeah, so that is step 2. What I did want to do really quick is actually take one of these and make like a Figma representative of it. So you can kind of see how that works. I generally won't do that until technically it's like the next phase where you're actually designing things. So I will probably, let's see, I will probably count it for this step. Like I will generally create squares and trying to make some type of layout. So what you can do over here. So I know I'm going fast, so let me actually slow down a bit for people that actually want to follow. So with Figma, if you press the R, you'll get the rectangle tool. If you're using the new UI, all the shapes is on the bottom. So if you click this button down here, you can see that you have tons of different tools. For a designer, you will probably only use rectangles for the most part, unless you're doing super fancy stuff. Rectangle is your friend. And you can just drag and click and drag to create your squares, which I normally like to do. But again, shortcut is R to get the rectangle tools, and then you can drag. So I know this layout is the manga layout. I know it's kind of slanted because I can't draw straight, but we all know that these 3 panels are probably the same. So I'm gonna copy it and paste it. So I have another one, copy and paste it. So I have 3 panel. How cool. And then we know this other section here is just basically one rectangle and then extended. So the cool thing about Figma is these bounding boxes, you can like readily expand things quickly. So just hover over the edge until you get those little double arrows, and you can just stretch them how you want. All right, so I moved that up there, and so what I'm gonna do here is quickly measure this rectangle with the 3, because everything needs to be the same like width. So I just adjusted that so that the size of this is equal to 3 of those. And so that's going to allow me to copy this. Now bring it down here and let me resize it. And so we got this little bottom piece. And then I'm going to copy that to get the last piece of it. And we have that. So now over here we have one rectangle with like 2 rectangles. So the best way is to copy this one and paste. So you want to try not align them with the rest. So like as you like dragging around, you'll see these little red borders that pop up, and that just means like you're aligned to some type of edge. So we want to align it to that thing on the left. Yep. And then bring this in, oh, something like that. And then we'll just do that. And I don't care if these are the same size or not. But so I selected all that. I'm gonna cut that out just so I can easily paste it somewhere here. And then now you have like a layout kind of something. Now, how would you use this? You wouldn't know. But it's just there in case you wanted to do something. And then you can like do something interesting where, okay, maybe just play around like, okay, this looks better than the other one. You know, if I had to do something interesting, let's say I took this image, delete it, put there. I don't want to copy this. So you have that, and you know, this could be this black, and I could do some type of text here. And you know, take that more here, and blah blah blah. So you can kind of see how you can start creating a layout from just like your inspiration here. Now, I'm not going to say this is like the best thing in the world, but it's something that can work. And might be really cool. Let me steal another picture and so you can kind of imagine what you can do here. Maybe this is red and this turns into black. Yeah, you get the point. Let's do this as an example, right? So that's just like a rectangle. And it's really just text. So I'm gonna just steal this over here. You know, just eyeballing what it looks like, not being too specific. The idea is just kind of see how things look, and then once you actually getting to create this stuff onto an actual website template, and then you can like start messing around with the correct verbiage, because what this says actually changes a lot in how it actually, the whole thing works and looks. So we'll be doing a lot of wordsmithing at the end. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let me just, these are my commissioned work that I did, that I got. Sometime in a year. That's kind of cool. You know, this could be like download PDF. I can see that working as an element on the page. And then, let's see, I'm at 25 minutes in this video. Should I do another one? Or you guys got the point? I think you guys got the points, because the next episode I will do like kind of more in-depth Figma tutorial on how to actually create your components and how to lay things out, because like you see how this is like 6,000, the square 6,000 pixels long, when most websites is maybe around 1980 in websites. So that is something we'll think about as we design the site. The other thing I wanted to mention is how I made a joke about it. Like, no designers does. If a designer doesn't do this, then they're fake, or they're get your money back. Well, the perfect analogy I can make is that some designers are basically like grand chess masters, and you kind of see these chess masters where they automatically know like 20 moves into the game and how to approach it, right? And so a lot of designers will do this step of it's kind of like trial and error, really. You're just trying things out, connecting things, and some are really good to just like automatically know what works and they don't have to do all this work. Some of them will just intentionally do this work so they can have a few ideas to give to the client. Generally, I will probably do the same, where I probably do all this work, but I will never show it, because there's no point in showing something that I don't believe in. So, in this case, like, let's say I had like 20 iterations of this card idea, and no matter what I did, it's just not gonna work. I'm not gonna like show that to a client and be like, oh, here's my work. Like, it's just a waste of time. If you don't believe in a design, then I don't think you should show it. It's not to say that you haven't done it and tried it, but if as a designer, if you trust yourself that something just won't work, no matter how hard you try, then I think you should definitely step up and just say, hey, you can definitely show them like, hey, I tried all this iteration, it just won't work, and I recommend not doing it. And sometimes clients will probably push back and say, oh, let's just do it anyways. And so that's why I often think this step is really important, because there are times where you have to what's the quote? Basically, like, you have to lose some to win some. And if you are fighting a battle where a client might like a certain direction of a design, sometimes you will just have to use that as leverage in order to push forward a better design for something else. So that is definitely a strategy that I've used, and that's something that you guys can use. Just like use it in moderation, and it's always helpful to be it's always helpful to be more transparent of your process and what you're doing than it is to be less transparent. You know, it might be stupid to show your work for what 2 plus 2 is, but sometimes it just helps. So that's it for step number 2. Like I said, my favorite step. It's probably where I think I valued the most and where I would charge the most, because as I said in my other videos, like anyone can work in Figma, anyone could make boxes. If you can make a box, you're a designer. But how to show those boxes together, how to show the work is where real fun begins. So take care. I might hibernate for a while as I figure out how to piecemeal the third episode, because we'll be going over actually designing the site. And so I might do something where I will record myself doing at least maybe a page or so, and then re-record it or something and do a time lapse to kind of commentate how I did it. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to take me a little bit for that to be done, but I wanted to get this one out pretty quickly so that you kind of understand the progression of where we're going. So remember, the goal is end of October. We don't have much time, but we'll see how it goes. Take care.